you are on the carnivore diet for a few months, everything is going great, except that you're just so sensitive. You seem to be only able to eat meat and not much of anything else. Let's talk about it. Welcome to my channel. I am Sylvia. I'm a carnivore coach and a big city mom. Believe it or not, there are many different versions of the carnivore diet. Some people are able to do great with shellfish, fish, chicken, eggs and butter and lots of dairy. And there are those of us that are relegated to meat, fat, salt and water. And particularly those of us that have to, in stages, exclude just about everything except meat, fat and salt, and sometimes with fat, if it's age, it's an issue, tend to develop sensitivity to anything but meat, fat and salt and water. And sometimes you even have to adjust the type of salt that you are eating. Yes, it gets that bad sometimes. So the people whose guts get sensitized on the carnivore diet typically go through the following process. So they'll eat eggs, maybe butter, maybe some dairy, of course, all kinds of meat, and maybe even some shellfish or fish. And then they feel about 85% better. Now the decision becomes, I want to be 100% better. That only makes sense. And so they decide to get rid of maybe butter, maybe dairy, maybe eggs, and eventually they're down to meat, fat, salt, and water. They are 100% symptoms free. They do it for another few months and then try to reintroduce eggs or shellfish, and the guts does not seem to like it, let alone trying to bring back honey or fruit or maybe even root vegetables. What to do in this case? Carnivore diet is an excellent strategy to reverse any disease that originates in your gut. What you are basically doing is you're creating this confined environment where you are excluding everything from your diet that can irritate your gut, but eat only foods that can heal your gut, which is saturated animal fats and red meat for the most part. Now, should you be staying on this path for the rest of your life? Most people, about 95% of the people that I coach, want to get back to some sort of animal-based diet, but wouldn't mind a seasonal fruit, maybe sometimes chocolate for Christmas and New Year's, or a glass of champagne once in the blue moon. So we want to be able to heal our guts, reverse all the symptoms of chronic disease, but ultimately harden our body to the point that it can tolerate some things that aren't ideal for our guts. And so when I talk about hardening of your body, what I mean is more like a concept from homeopathy, that a little bit of the thing that makes you ill in a proper dilution will actually help your body to fix itself and resolve your health ailment. So in this case, once you deem that you are symptoms free and ready to introduce back some other foods, and for everybody this will be different. It could be as little as 6 months, maybe 8, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. You yourself, by the way, are the best judge on when to start introducing additional foods to your diet. So for example, you mostly eat steaks with salt and some extra fat. So when you decide to introduce some additional foods, start with black pepper. Do it very little and just that one item for the full week, and watch what your body is doing and how it's reacting to it. If nothing happens, then keep it up for another week, and then you can move on to another food. When it comes to spices, black pepper seems to be okay with most of my clients. I suggest you stay away from things like cayenne or paprika because they do belong to the nightshades family, and those are the ones with those very aggressive lectins. So try black pepper, but other spices be very careful with, and best avoid all the nightshades. A lot of my clients are dying to get back to drinking coffee. And if you have a choice between getting back to drinking tea or coffee, it seems that coffee is better tolerated than tea. I know it doesn't sound obvious, but that is the observation I draw from coaching for a few years now, including myself. I can tolerate coffee okay, But teas, especially black tea and mint tea, no go. It doesn't matter how well I do. It is something that my body just reacts to, no matter how healthy and robust my gut lining is. Don't just run out to the first coffee shop and get this 16-ounce coffee latte with extra espresso shot and some whipped cream on it. No, that is not a good idea. Get coffee from good sources by yourself, preferably organic. Brew it at home and drink about a third of a cup, preferably later in the morning and not on an empty stomach. And do that for a week and watch what happens. In some cases, you may have developed sensitivities to certain types of food, maybe long time in your childhood. You just didn't know about it because you were always eating so many different types of food that you could never tell. So some people will always be sensitive to eggs or to shellfish, and they will actually do better by eating fruit than trying to reintroduce eggs. And this you just have to accept and deal with it. Even when you are successful introducing foods one after another back to your diet and everything is going great, always stay away from those leafy vegetables, those green juices, green smoothies. Of course, no go to the aisles with processed foods, canned foods, stay away from it. Some people might permanently have to be off all the nightshades, vegetables, and some people, especially those with joint issues, might have to be very careful with dairy. Some of them may not be able to tolerate dairy at all, even when there are symptoms free. My observation is that everybody that is successful going on the maintenance diet stays on the animal-based diet, where 80 to 85%, sometimes 90% of their daily food intake comes from animal sources. And there is a occasional fruit, there is some root vegetables, but they always stay away from all sorts of grains, processed foods, and leafy greens. And some of you want to even drink alcohol, but my personal advice is stay away from it as much as you can and as long as you can. And if you do feel pressured or have a genuine desire to have some sort of alcohol, I've seen people doing well with like whiskey and vodka shots, but feeling terrible after wine, beer, and all sorts of cocktails. I don't recommend these at all. But I think there's really zero benefits to consuming alcohol. So if you do it just for a gustatory experience or for social interaction, just really minimize it as little as possible, or no, not at all would be my choice. Let's talk about adding fats back to your diet. Most people are able to bring back butter and they do fine. And there is also a group of people that is interested in consuming olive oil and coconut oil, mostly because they believe that these are healthy fats and they should be part of healthy diet. I think that lard, tallow, and butter are far more superior to coconut oil or olive oil, but nonetheless, that said, if you go to restaurants, even the good ones, the grills will be usually sprayed either with olive oil or some other plant oil. So if you can develop tolerance for those, your social lives will improve if you can go to a steakhouse from time to time. I can tolerate coconut oil fine, but I can't have olive oil in any amount. And the simple reason may be that I'm just allergic to olives, or there's always admixture of those other plant seed oils, such as sunflower oil, canola oil, to the olive oils, which is very common here in the United States. If you were able to add olive oil successfully to your diet, let me know. I'm curious to hear about it. I don't know of many people that had good results with olive oil. However, there were better results with adding of coconut oil back to their diets. Alright, this will do it for this week's video. I hope this is helpful for you to make a switch or evolve your carnivore diet and to come back to a little bit more varied way of eating. Mostly people want to add some more stuff because of the social interaction, and they want to go out from time to time, which is totally understandable and, in my view, good thing. The links to my coaching site are in the description box. Share it with anybody that you think may benefit. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!